Dear student, today we will discuss about oxidation reduction. In oxidation reduction, firstly we are discuss oxidation. Oxidation. Addition of oxygen to an element or compound is known as oxidation, or removal of hydrogen from a compound is known as oxidation. Dear student, here calcium and oxygen. When calcium react with oxygen, it forms calcium oxide. You know that, you observe here calcium, here calcium oxide. Calcium to calcium oxide. Calcium to calcium oxide formed by the addition of oxygen. So this reaction is known as oxidation reaction. Now here HCl convert into Cl2 by removal of two hydrogen. You know that removal of hydrogen from a compound is oxidation reaction. So this reaction is a oxidation reaction. Now we will discuss reduction reaction. In reduction, addition of hydrogen to an element or compound, or removal of oxygen from a compound is known as reduction. Dear student, here H2 plus O2 make H2O. In this reaction, you observe here hydrogen add to oxygen and produce water. That means this reaction is reduction reaction. In this reaction, CuO plus H2 convert into Cu plus H2 by the removal of oxygen from the copper oxide. So this reaction is reduction reaction. Now discuss oxidizing agent. Dear student, oxidizing agent is the agent which oxidize element or compound. By the example, we understand here Fe that is iron react with oxygen and produce ferric oxide. In production of ferric oxide, you observe here addition of oxygen take place, or addition of oxygen take place. That means oxidation of iron take place. The oxidations of iron, dear student, the oxidation of iron take place in this reaction, but the oxidation of iron due to presence of oxygen. That means the oxidation of iron due to oxygen. That means oxygen oxidized to iron. So here oxygen is oxidizing agent because oxygen oxidized to iron. Okay. Now reducing agent. Dear student, reducing agent is agent which reduce compound. As an example, CuO plus H2. Here removal of oxygen take place from copper. The removal of iron due to presence of hydrogen, because hydrogen receive the oxygen of cupric oxide and cupric oxide convert into copper. Dear student, here removal of hydrogen, oxygen. Removal of oxygen means reduction. Here reductions of cupric oxide take place. The reduction of cupric oxide is due to hydrogen. So here hydrogen reduce cupric oxide. So hydrogen is reducing agent. Okay. Now discuss here SnCl2 plus FeCl3. Dear student, not only addition or removal of hydrogen oxygen is a oxidation and reduction reaction. It also happens addition or removal of negative ions from a compound is also a oxidation or reduction reaction. The example is, in this reaction Sn is positive ion and chlorine is negative ion. You observe here SnCl2 convert into SnCl4 and FeCl3 convert into FeCl2. Dear student, here FeCl3 remove their one negative ion. Negative ion means Cl ions. Here Fe positive ion, Cl negative ions. In this reaction, Fe lose their negative ions because SnCl2 receive their negative ions. Okay. So here negative ions are loses. A reaction in which negative ions are loose, the reaction is known as reduction reaction. The reaction in which negative ions are added, the reaction is known as oxidation reaction. But here negative ions are loose, removed. So this is a reduction. The reduction is take place due to presence of SnCl2. So SnCl2 is a reducing agent. Okay, student? Dear student, a reaction in which reduction and oxidation both are take place simultaneously, the reaction is known as redox reaction. Redox means reduction and ox means oxidation. The meaning of red, reduction, and meaning of oxidation. A reaction in which reduction and oxidation both are take place simultaneously, the reaction is known as redox reaction. For example, in this reaction Cu plus CuO plus H2, Cu plus H2O is formed. In this reaction, student, observe here, from CuO, oxygen is removed and it convert into Cu, and from H2O, in H2 in hydrogen, oxygen is added and form H2. Okay. You know that the removal of oxygen is reduction, whereas addition of oxygen is oxidation. In this reaction, oxidation and reduction both are take place. So this reaction is known as a redox reaction. Okay, student. Next example of redox reaction. Here H2S plus Cl2 formed 2HCl plus sulfur. Here, student, from H2S, hydrogens remove. You know that removal of hydrogen is oxidation. Here, Cl2 convert into HCl. Here, hydrogen are added. You know that addition of hydrogen is reduction. In this reaction, oxidation and reduction both are take place. So this reaction is also known as redox reaction. Dear student, from same method, observe here are these reactions are redox reaction or not. Okay. Take a screenshot about given content. Dear student, now discuss combustion reaction. Combustion reaction. Combustion are also known as burning. Burning of substance is known as combustion. Okay. The definition of combustion is the reaction in which a substance combines with oxygen to produce heat and light. Combustion of any substance with oxygen and production of heat and light is known as combustion reaction or burning. Okay, student? Here, when we take some carbons, when we burn carbons like coal in presence of oxygen, oxygen combine with the carbons and produce carbon dioxide, heat and light. In this reaction, oxygen combine with carbons and produce heat and light. So this reaction is a combustion reaction or burning of carbons. In this reaction, a methane gas react with oxygen and produce carbon dioxide and water vapor and heat and light. In these reactions, carbon combine with oxygen and hydrogen combine with oxygen. Here, combination of oxygen take place and production of heat and light. So this reaction is known as combustion reaction. Dear student, when you take a strip of magnesium ribbon and in presence of oxygen, when you burn magnesium ribbon, it convert into the magnesium oxide powder. In this reaction, addition of oxygen take place with magnesium and produce heat and light. So this reaction is also known as combustion reaction. It's just present in our body. When you take glucose, when you take glucose from the food or sweet, the glucose break down in presence of oxygen, break down and convert into carbon dioxide, water vapors and produce energy. This process, the process of conversion of glucose, a breaking of glucose into carbon dioxide and water and production of energy is known as respiration reaction. But this reaction is a slow process. So this reaction is known as slow combustion reaction. In these reactions, heat release. When you breathe out, a heat produced through the air. That means heat released from your body due to combustion reaction. So this process of respiration is known as exothermic reaction. Dear student, the process of respiration in our body is a exothermic reaction. Dear student, take a screenshot of the given content on board and solve the questions given your NCERT book and write down in your notebook. Thank you very much.